And for more on the state of the race, we're joined by ABC News political director Rick Klein and Martha Raddatz, who will be hosting This Week later this morning. Good morning to both of you. Rick, let's start with you. We have this new ABC News Ipsos poll out this morning. How have the numbers moved since the assassination attempt on Trump?
Good morning, Whit. Yeah, this poll with Ipsos picking up a definite bounce for Donald Trump in the wake of his convention and the assassination attempt. His approval rating up to 40%. That's up sharply since a month ago. It's also the highest it's been in 4 years. It's still not great, but it's certainly significantly better than it was. And meanwhile, Joe Biden's approval rating about where it has been for a long time, in the low 30s. In this poll also, Whit, people are more likely to think Donald Trump better suited than Joe Biden to unite the country going forward.
So, and what are Democratic voters, though, saying about whether they want Biden to stay in this race?
61% of voters overall and 60% of Democrats say they want him to step aside. That is a sharp rebuke from inside his party, some very negative sentiments about his prospects going forward. In fact, Republicans are more likely than Democrats to say that they want Joe Biden to remain in this race, I think reflecting their calculation that he'd be easier to beat than anyone else. As for potential replacement candidates, Kamala Harris viewed slightly more favorably than Joe Biden, but also just as unfavorably as Biden. So those numbers are upside down for her as well. And none of the other major Democrats are really known well enough nationally to say something meaningful. That tells you how hard it would be to replace someone on the ticket this late.
All right, Martha, let's go to you on this, because Biden expected back on the campaign trail this week after he recovers from COVID. How high are the stakes for him now, just weeks before the Democratic convention?
The stakes are huge, Whit, as you know, because all eyes will be on Joe Biden. Every move he makes, everything he says, and recovering from COVID, they say he still has a cough. This is going to be a rough week, and he really has to prove himself because time is running out. The convention is about 3 weeks away, whether Joe Biden will be the nominee or not, we don't know. With growing movement, more than 35 Democratic lawmakers saying it's time to go. He also this week has Benjamin Netanyahu in town. So he wants to show his foreign policy chops, but we'll see what happens.
And you were also at the Republican National Convention. You're interviewing House Speaker Mike Johnson later this morning. How does the addition of J.D. Vance to the Trump ticket change this race in any way?
Well, you certainly have someone younger. He's about half the age of former President Trump. And obviously, he's from Ohio. They want help in that Rust Belt. They think J.D. Vance can help deliver that. Whit?
Martha Raddatz and Rick Klein, thanks to you both. We appreciate it. And a reminder, tune in to This Week later this morning. Martha speaks with House Speaker Mike Johnson about the state of the race less than 4 months from Election Day. Plus, Martha interviews Independent Senator Joe Manchin and Democratic Representative Ro Khanna about what's next for President Biden.